Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And no, you will not be seeing my face in this video. I am wore out. Baby, I'm toe to the flow. I'm tired. I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. I just went out with my sister and my nieces, and I had a margarita. And margaritas, for whatever reason, always make me sleepy. They always do. And I knew I shouldn't have gotten one because I was telling my sister and my nieces, I was like, I need to go home and make a video. And I was like, I really don't need to drink this margarita because I know what the outcome is going to be. And sure enough, baby, these eyes are heavy. They're getting heavy, 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 heavy. Because these eyelids are getting heavy. Um, so we here, we queer, and we're gonna talk about some mess. So let's just go ahead and get into it so I can lay down in this bed and close my eyes for a couple of seconds. All right, this is according to the Neighborhood Talk. American Express drags Ray J, Willie is what I call him, and his streaming company to court for almost $140,000 while he's busy arguing online. So neighbors, American Express is on Ray J's neck. The credit card company just filed a lawsuit claiming he and his company, Tronix Network, owe nearly $140,000 in unpaid credit card debt. Court records say Ray J stopped making payments back in May and let the balance grow into a six-figure bill. The lawsuit was filed on November the 19th in Los Angeles Superior Court. AMEX is accusing Ray J of breaching his agreement and wants their money immediately. Tronix Network, the streaming platform he launched in 2024, is also named in the suit. Ray J has not responded publicly yet. Meanwhile, Ray J has been very vocal online about his sister, Brandy's business and her other industry drama, but fans are pointing out that his own affairs need attention. The financial situation adds to his recent hiccups. He went viral after a chaotic live stream where he appeared to load a gun and get into it with Princess Love. Where he appeared, girl, stop. Girl, Neighborhood Talk, it didn't appear, where he appeared. Girl, no, he did it. Girl, he literally did it online. Like, what are we talking about? No, where he loaded a gun. Okay? And got into it with Princess Love. That moment led to his arrest, with both sides accusing each other of dangerous behavior. Ray J later denied ever pointing a weapon at anyone. Let me tell y'all something. One thing about it, two things for sure. I've never experienced this. But one thing I do know is that American Express does not play. I don't know. American Express is not Capital One. Okay? Maybe American Express, they're taking your ass to court. Girl, American Express, they want their goddamn money. I don't know why y'all keep getting these American Express cards and thinking that it's Capital One. They just gonna send it to a credit agency. Girl, it might fall off in 7 years. But Capital One, believe it or not, I think once you ruin your reputation with Capital One, they won't allow you to open up another card. Now that I can tell you, okay? Now that I can tell you from experience, baby. Girl, I had a Capital One card probably, I think, what? I'm sorry, like 30. Girl, didn't pay it off, went into collections. Baby, they would not let me open up a Capital One credit card to this day. they said, fool me once, shame on us. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, we the goddamn fool. Now, you probably can call. I have heard that sometimes if you call, then they may eventually, allow you to open up another credit card. But yeah, Capital One, they might not necessarily take you to court. I mean, they might, I guess, depending on the dollar amount. But, they definitely have not allowed me to open up another credit card ever since I played in their face the first go round. But American Express is not Capital One. They're taking your ass to court. So either you're going to pay your bill or maybe you're going to be at the courthouse. Mm-mm. And I do want to add this part too before we move on. Can I say something? We've already talked about Princess Love and Ray J, right? And this is a problem that I'm having. We were not there We don't know except for what we know, which is what we really saw on the live stream. Outside of that, I guess it would be he say, she say. The fact of the matter is only one person went to jail. Be very clear. So if you want to defend Ray J, that's perfectly fine, girl. I know y'all gonna die on the hill protecting some nickel. But if you want to protect Ray J, that's completely fine. If you want to say Princess was drunk, that's fine too. Do I believe that Princess probably had some cocktails? I do. She over there with a nigga who she can't stand. Okay? Girl, it's the holidays. People do drink. You know, people drink at all times of the day. Can I see them over there at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning preparing for Thanksgiving, right? Making sure the turkey is finished, whatever, blah, 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 sipping on a cocktail? Yes. I do believe that Princess was over there drinking. However, Princess was able to leave the premises with her children, from what I understand. Ray J left the premises with his hands behind his back. So people can scream all day long that Princess was drunk, Princess was drunk, Princess was drunk. But Princess wasn't too drunk because Princess went live a few hours later. And I heard some kids hollering and screaming in the background. And from what I understand, Ray J, girl, he was down to somebody's jailhouse.
Oh, clank-de clank, clank-de clank.
Really?
The bar soap?
Yeah.
You might want to help your husband.
So, with that being said, Ray J, if he really felt as though his children's lives were in danger, he should have called the cops. I know people are going to be like, oh, you know, people don't call the cops. People, you know, people. Well, girl, he ended up getting arrested anyways. You don't want to call the cops, but you want to get on live stream and act a goddamn donkey and girl load a gun and threaten to shoot people. But you don't want to call the cops because you say your children's lives were in danger because the mother was drunk and they were not about to put your children in a car. But you'll load a gun though. And then you're the nigga who ends up going to jail. Well, you know how people treat people when they go, I know the system is unfair to black people. And I know the system is unfair to black men. But you're not helping your case when you decide to put on a show on the World Wide Web and threaten to shoot anybody who comes through the door and we see you load a gun. And your children are just a few feet away in the bed sleep. I don't know how that fucking helps your case. But it is what it is. I just want to add that little part. All right, y'all. Let's just go ahead and move on. Child, here we go. Everybody is talking about Kandi and Todd. And, you know, Kandi filed for divorce from Todd. They say allegedly Todd has a girlfriend. I don't know. I don't keep up with Kandi or Todd. I don't know what Kandi and Todd got going on. But they say Todd has a girlfriend. I don't know if he got the girlfriend last week, yesterday, last year, last month. I don't know. But nonetheless, Kandi and Todd are getting a divorce. And Todd wants a little bit of the money. Hey, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, 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 oh, baby. Baby, 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 baby. Girl. I think one of the worst things in the world is to work your ass off. But see, that's why your asses shouldn't get married to people who got less than you. Sorry, I'm gonna say it. It might be. I'm gonna say it. It might be the Rita talking. No, it ain't. It's the truth, girl. Kandi, you shouldn't even marry Todd to begin with. Girl, now your ass is down on the internet crying and girl asking people to send you prayers. When girl, we wouldn't even be going down this road if your black ass wouldn't have married his black ass. It's straight like that. We wouldn't even be going through this, Kandi, if you would have left that nigga down to the Bravo, getting people coffee, or being the cameraman, whatever he was. You will still have all your money, and you could be able to take care of every motherfucker in the building. But Todd said by the time he's finished with you and your goddamn money, you might be able to take care of a few people in the building, but it won't be every motherfucker in the building. Because Todd said he wants some of that coin. Anyways, so Carlos King and Ebony K. Williams. Ebony K. Williams was a guest on Carlos's podcast or YouTube channel, and they were talking about Kandi and Todd, and this is what Ebony had to say. So let's just take a listen.
I am not calling Todd Tucker a bus driver at all. I believe that Todd was a working individual, that he brought many things to the table, and Kandi made sure we knew that. But the discrepancy is undisputed. The financial discrepancy between herself and Todd remained severe.
You are a woman of means, you are a highly educated woman, and you are a celebrity. Based on the fact that the financial difference between Kandi and Todd entering the relationship, asking for, possible child support alimony, are these the reasons why you felt so strongly about not dating a bus driver?
Very much a part, not exclusively, but a very real part of why I personally, this is a me decision. Each woman, each man, each person gets to make this decision for themselves. But for me, this would not be a risk I would be willing to take. And that's based on a few things, right, Raindrops? It's based off my personal value system. I'm very old school. I'm very much of the traditional mindset that I think men in this nation, we live in a patriarchy. And I believe that men, despite challenges that they also go through, I think they are put in best position to climb the capitalism ladder of this nation based off of male patriarchal systems. So what do I look like tethering myself legally for sure to a man that I'm out earning when the whole system is designed for you to out earn me? So I got a problem with that, and I have no problem saying that. Put it on a t-shirt. It's fine, totally fine with it. But in addition to that, because I have practiced family law, I know what it's like to see Sherry. And I also have relationships with women who have paid child support for their own children. I have relationships with women who have paid spousal support to men for years, to multiple men, some of these women. And they're not all famous. Some of them are accountants. Some of them are CEOs. Some of them are, work in healthcare positions. And that's, again, not a risk I am personally willing to take. So I want to be clear before anybody thinks anything funny style. I am not calling Todd Tucker a bus driver at all. I believe that Todd was a working individual, that he brought many things to the table, and Kandi made sure we knew that. But the discrepancy is undisputed. The financial discrepancy between herself and Todd remained severe. And when there is a severe discrepancy from the man, the woman, whoever it is, this risk of money grab accusations is going to always be at play.
I 1,000,000,000,000% agree with everything Mother Ebony had to say. And quiet as it's kept, I've been screaming that from the mountaintop for a very long time. I'm a little gutter snipe in my delivery, so it doesn't come across as the way Ebony. Ebony has a little, with a lot more education. Okay, and she can, put the words together a lot better than me. My words are gonna come across a little, just a little, just a little gutter, just a little snipe, Listen, this is the thing, right? It's not about whether or not you should marry the bus driver. I really think what happens in situations like these is the majority of people, it's called the 1% for a reason, right? Most people will never be in the 1%. Again, it's called the 1% for a reason. And even if you're not necessarily in the 1%, There are a lot of people who will not make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a job that they've worked in their life. So I think that when you hear people who you deem as not necessarily wealthy or rich, but they probably have a decent income, and then they have a decent education, right? They live a decent life as far as what you may think. And then when they start to say the things that Ebony is saying, it can come across as, what's the word? Out of touch, right? And I also believe that because a lot of the people who are probably listening to Ebony or Carlos King, they're regular people with, regular jobs with a regular income. And so I think that sometimes people tend to become offended because they start to feel hit. So like when Ebony had said that she wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owned the bus, right? When she had the conversation with Iyanla, a lot of people got pissed off and they took it very personal because they felt as though Ebony was taking a dig at them and their fathers and their brothers and their uncles and their mothers. My daddy made $275,000, which I hate to say it. I don't think that anybody out there, girl, your daddy is not making no $275,000 driving no bus. I saw people in the comment section, my daddy made $225,000 to drive a bus. What bus is he driving? He must be driving a bus for the President of the United States. Because I know he's not driving a city bus. What kind of bus is he driving? Where he's making $275,000 plus a bonus check. But anyways, so I think a lot of people started to feel a way about when Ebony made that comment. And a lot of people took what she said personally, even though they shouldn't have. Girl, like I said, girl, most of us don't make. Okay? Most of us are in the same boat. Most of us are in the same boat. And I do agree. And I've said this before. It is a double standard when I think about men and women. And I don't have a problem saying that. The system is designed to uplift men and protect men. So why would a woman have to turn around and then pay a man when the system has been designed for us to succeed? I know people are going to say, well, when you bring in the fact that you're black or, people of color, girl, the system is designed for men to succeed. So how do you turn around and ask a woman when women just started being able to open up their own checking accounts, I think in the 1960s, I believe, to say, give me some of your goddamn money. And like I said last night in my live, I'm not calling Todd a bum. And I think that's what you have. And I think that's why Ebony. I think that's why Ebony kept saying, I want to be very clear. I'm not calling him a bus driver. Because she probably knows how people will take her words and misconstrue them. Girl, I'm not saying that Todd is a bum. I don't think Todd was ever a bum. But I think that for people to try to paint the picture that he was an Andy Cohen is a lie. To paint the picture that he was Carlos King was a lie. The way that people tried to paint the picture that Todd was even an Eric. Where's Eric? Shout out to Candace Dillard. Where's Eric? Okay. Was a lie. He worked for Bravo. He worked, girl. Just because you work for a multi-million-dollar company does not mean that, girl, you're making a whole bunch of money. Because I'm sure there's somebody who is employed at NBC Universal who's a housekeeper, who's a janitor. Does that mean that because they're employed at the NBC Universal offices that they're making a whole bunch of money? No. So just because Todd was someone who was out in the field co-producing, producing, an intern, I don't know what exactly his title was, does not mean that Todd was making this buku, like buku money, because he was not. Be very clear. There is a big difference in what Kandi came into that relationship with versus what Todd came into that relationship with. Kandi was already able to take care of every motherfucker in the building. She already told us that. Todd couldn't take care of every motherfucker in the building. Kandi was already a multimillionaire. Todd was not. Todd did not make Kandi a multimillionaire. Kandi made Todd a millionaire. Be very clear. And that's okay. But don't be trying to act like Todd brought more to that relationship than what he did. Did he have amazing ideas? Yes. He hit it out the ballpark with OLG. Absolutely. He did. Maybe OLG took over. Maybe took over. Does he have a lot of ideas? I believe that Todd does. Did Kandi fund those ideas? I believe that Kandi did. From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, only one motherfucker is asking for spousal support, and it ain't Kandi Burris. Hey, hello? I would be pissed off if I had to pay a man money, especially if I was a woman. Girl, the system is designed for you to win, and I have to give you money? At one point, I couldn't even vote. At one point, I couldn't even open up a fucking checking account. And I have to turn around and give you money. I do want to say this, and y'all can take this how y'all want to take it. I don't give a fuck if Ebony says she don't want to date a bus driver, if she don't want to date a janitor, if she doesn't want to date a housekeeper. I don't give a damn. Why should she have to? Yes, you could date a rich person, a wealthy person, someone who may not even be rich or wealthy, but someone who has a very high income, and they still be trash and treat you like shit. Abso-fucking-lutely. We see it every day on TV with these celebrities. But I don't think it's fair to get mad at Ebony, someone who got her education, got her money, to turn your nose up at her because she says, no, I would not date so-and-so. No, I would not date this person. Why should she have to? You go date him. You go date the nigga and slide him your credit card. I remember I was having a conversation with a friend, and I remember them saying how they would date someone who made, I think they said $60,000 or $50,000. I can't remember. And I was like, I was like, that's interesting. Now, I would take the $60,000 a year. Okay. But I'm talking about for them. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about for them. I said, that's interesting. I said, so basically you'll be paying for most of everything in the relationship. Because there's no way you and your lifestyle, the way that you like to travel, and the things you like to purchase, that a person who's bringing in only, yes, $60,000, $50,000 in comparison to your income would even be able to keep up with you. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Now, if you know what you're getting into, that's completely fine. You see what I'm saying? If you know what you're getting into, if you meet somebody who makes a whole lot less than you and you're okay with it, then be okay with it. But I just want you to know that, baby, when you're looking at $5,000 suits and this person is only bringing in $5,000 per month, and that's not even, girl, that's before taxes. Now, I don't know how y'all lifestyle is going to be the same. Because you're going to go from paying for one steak at STK to paying for two. You going to still walk around here buying $5,000 suits when your man got to shop Girl, I guess at ASOS. Again, people do what they want to do when they get into relationships. But I don't really think people think about the money because I think that they have fed y'all, especially women, and the men, the gay men are falling into it too. They have fed y'all that it's all about love, 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 love. And I hate to sound cliche, but love does not pay the bills. I remember I used to work at, I almost had the place. I used to work at a electricity company, and I worked on the phone, the call center. And people will call in, oh, I need an extension on my light bill. God, I done got plenty of extensions on my light bill. I'm not judging. Oh, my man not gonna have the money. My husband, my boyfriend not gonna have the money until so. Well, baby, you need another boyfriend because your light's gonna be off. Now I can't tell you your light's gonna be off. All I can do is tell you that, ma'am, you don't qualify for your sixth extension. Okay, baby, you're backed up on your bill. We need a payment. All I can do is tell you is that, ma'am, there is a possibility that your services may be disconnected after December the 7th, after midnight. So you turning my lights off, ma'am. I don't know if your lights will be disconnected or not, but all I can do is tell you that your services may be interrupted after December the 9th, midnight. Hell yeah, bitch, they're gonna be disconnected. But you got the love of your life. You got your man. So be happy. Now y'all can just sit in the dark and hold hands. I'm not mad at any person, especially a woman, who does not want to date someone who she feels is not compatible as far as education, as far as income. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. And why should she have to? Why should she have to, yes, lower her standards because the people tell her, girl, you're supposed to marry for love. You're supposed to be the Disney story. You're supposed to marry your Prince Charming. It's not all about money. It's not, but like I said, girl, don't pay your light bill. You and your man can sit in the motherfucking dark together. And you can explain to your kids, oh, we're camping. We're camping because that's what you're gonna be. You're gonna be in the dark, and you're gonna have to tell your kids, the one who you named after your husband, why the lights got turned off. And y'all can pretend that you're camping inside of your apartment. And once we receive that payment of $479.86, then your services will be reconnected. If we don't receive that payment of $2,300 because you had an extension 7 times in a row, then you'll be in the dark. And y'all do know that for the electricity company, I can't speak for everybody because everybody's not the same. Some places are regulated, some places are deregulated. They started catching on because sometimes the girls and boys would hurry up and leave an electricity company, go to another electricity company to avoid paying their bill. But I think they switched it up where now they can see in the system if you like have a balance, they won't let you switch. I don't know if it's still that way, but at one point they got that way because they knew what people were doing. You're just gonna leave. Basically, you're just gonna be hopping around from electricity company to electricity company. It's like I just won't pay my bill, or my bill has gotten, my bill is I'm so far behind I can't afford to pay it. No, they cut that shit off at one point. So yeah, but anyways, I'm not mad at Ebony. I'm really not. It is what it is. I understand exactly what she said. I agreed 1,000,000% with what she said. I'm not mad at any woman for not wanting to date down. Yes, date down. I'm not mad at any woman for not wanting to date someone who does not make the same amount of money as her or close to it. You making $400,000 and a nigga making $50,000. Okay, girl. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Because I don't know what the fuck you think that $50,000 is going to do for your lifestyle, especially when you a bitch. You walk around here with $2,000 wigs, Chanel bags, YSL bags, girl, live in a high-rise apartment. And what you think this nigga going to do? Like, realistically speaking, I'm going to take up for the niggas who ain't got no money. I think it's unfair when people get in relationships with men and they know they don't have money and expect them to provide this lifestyle that bitch you know he can't provide because you knew how much he made when you got with him. Now all of a sudden you expecting a YSL bag every year on your fucking birthday when you knew the nigga only made $42,000 a year. And he got 2 kids and 2 baby mamas. What you thought was gonna happen, sister? What did you think was gonna happen? What did you think was gonna happen when you got with the nigga who only made $43,000 a year, and he has 2 kids and 2 baby mamas, and you expect him to take you out to eat every weekend and buy you a designer purse every Christmas and your birthday? So it's not gonna work. You can go buy your own fucking bag, and you can go out every weekend and eat. But I don't know if he can do it. Matter of fact, I know he can't. Unless he gave for pay. Okay? Unless he gave for pay. Unless you don't mind him out here, girl, sucking a little dick, throwing a little ass for a few dollars. Huh? Throwing a little dick, sucking a little dick, throwing a little ass. What if he got to do? Work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. Maybe he can go to Tony's and be one of the strippers who walk around and get the money and come back and take it to you. Kandi, girl, no tea, no shade. No tea, no shade, honey. I'ma say it because Ebony don't want to say it, but you married a bus driver. Girl. I'm not saying you married a bum, just because I'm not saying that the bus drivers are bums. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that Kandi married the bus driver. She did. And now the bus driver want to be paid. Anyways, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. I'm about to lay down. Bye, y'all.